The sentiment across America was probably, well, if that dumbass can do it, certainly I can do it, in reference to Kamala, whatever the hell her name is, Harris, running for president. I mean, what the hell? I mean, if any former side piece can run for president, why can't I? I think a lot of people are feeling that way these days. A lot of people looking around going, you know what? My name was in the paper. I can run for president. You guys don't even remember when a newspaper used to come to your front door. I do. I was a paper boy. I had to put it inside the first screen door or Mrs. McGillicuddy would get mad. She wasn't really Mrs. McGillicuddy, but I can't remember her name. Anyway, let's talk about the election. What do they say in radio? Let's put a bow on this. Stephen A. Smith is putting a bow on it by ripping up, calling out the sisters. What? You can't call out the sisters. Nobody can call out Oprah. She's always lurking. She's around. Gayle King's her on the ground snitch, but Oprah is omnipotent. Oprah is everywhere. She's lurking. Michelle Obama, what, Big Mike? You cannot do that. You cannot call those folks out and live to see another day. I mean, look, Obama, think chef. Think Olympic-type swimmer, chef. Drowning? What? 6 feet of water? Huh? Anyway, Stephen A. Smith's in dangerous territory here. Very, very dangerous. I would caution Stephen A. Smith on calling out Michelle Obama and calling out Oprah for what? For alienating voters by trying to guilt them into voting for Harris. Here is Stephen A. Smith.
How you think American citizens felt? So in other words, if we don't agree with you, we're against you. Might not have affected most women, maybe some. How'd you think the men felt about that? So we have to do what you tell us to do, otherwise we're anti-you. Thought that worked? And you're going to look an audience in the face and you're going to tell them that if you vote for Donald Trump, you may not ever be able to cast a vote again. Who believed that? Who believed that coming from Oprah? This is the kind of stuff that alienates an electorate, that alienates a vote or a voter. Because the freedom that you tell them they have, you try to confiscate morally by letting them know you ain't worth a damn unless you vote the way we say you should vote. Who's going to go for that in a general election with an economy rife with inflation, with over 12 million people coming crossing the borders, with people wondering about their dollars, the dollars that they earn, the dollars that they have in their pocket, the value of that dollar dissipating before our very eyes. But in the same breath, you're telling them that you got to take even more money out of their pocket to finance immigrants that come across the border illegally at the behest of the Democratic Party looking to secure a voting bloc.
Pregnant pause. Pregnant pause. Pregnant pause. Pregnant pause. Pregnant pause. Pregnant pause. Oh, look into. There's a great scene. Regina Bookman is a congresswoman played by Queen Latifah. Everything goes back to 30 Rock, and she's doing exactly what this clown is doing. Because I say. The thing here, though, is Smith isn't wrong. You know, Big Mike got up there, and even though she lives in a $12 million mansion, even though they went from under $1 million in net worth to tens of millions of dollars post-presidency, and don't tell me it's about a book, we are all, according to Michelle Obama, oppressed. You're oppressed. Everybody's supposed to be oppressed. Michelle Obama, not exactly the one to tell us about that oppression, and Smith is not wrong. Actually, I'm surprised. Well, no, I'm not, because it's after the fact. It would have been interesting if he would have had the to say that before the election, before people went to the ballot box. I can preach too. I mean, it's the easiest thing in the world. Just yell really loud and talk about things that you really don't know. See, I don't know what I'm saying, but I'm telling you. I get a kick out of all of it. I do. I think it's funny as hell. But he ain't wrong. Look, Oprah getting up there with her $1 billion lecturing us. I think people have had enough. And thank God for Elon Musk and Twitter, because people exposed this. We were able to, across the world, see the nonsense and react to the nonsense. All you got to do is watch what Oprah had to say and then look at the comments below, or watch what Big Mike had to say and look at the comments below. And you're like, damn, huh? People think they're full of crap. This didn't work. Of course it didn't work. It was the worst campaign ever, even worse than Hillary Clinton. Well, Hillary Clinton, she exposed herself as completely arrogant and unlikable. Kamala Harris exposed herself as uninformed or lazy. You pick it, one of the two. And Stephen A. Smith's not wrong. Rich people getting up there telling us if we don't vote for you, it's the end of the world. And if we don't vote for you, then you will never have another vote? What? Donald Trump is going to eliminate elections? It was the same old crap. And good for Stephen A. Smith for calling it out. I said this before. I'll say this again. Not one unbiased United States citizen that is informed can vote for Harris. And they didn't. Yes, people of color. Those that say, I want a person of color. Great. Women, okay. I hate Donald Trump. I don't care. Yes, you're going to vote for Harris. I'm a staunch Democrat. My grandfather was a Democrat. My father was a Democrat. We're Democrats. I'm pulling the lever for all Democrats. Great. I get it. Yay. There you go. But not one reasonable, intelligent, informed United States citizen that was paying attention could and did. And Smith really points out not the reason, but one of the reasons. The other reason, and I don't know if you know this, but Pat Summerall's daughter became the first chief of staff for an American president when President-elect Trump just announced her as his chief of staff. Mark Cuban helped as well. There ought to be a little bit of bouquet, maybe an edible arrangement sent to Mark Cuban's house. What are you talking about, Dan? Well, when he said Trump doesn't support or doesn't like to be around intelligent, strong women, that ignited a movement of guess who? Intelligent, strong women who, guess what? Knew this was crap, total crap. So there's your election. You celebrities, you suck. You got called out. Jimmy Kimmel, wipe it. But it's not over because Stephen A. Smith, because he has a show. That's right. I have a show. I'm running for president. He says he's running for president. Let's hear from Sass.
You've been asked, I hear, about running for political office in the future. And some people have said that they could see you running for president. Mm-hmm. Would you do that? You think you qualify to run for president? I mean, the bar is pretty low anyway.
No. I do not.
Can you rephrase that?
I just think that the bar is really low because Trump really had no political experience and went from 0 to 100, right? He didn't start in the city council and stuff like that. So the bar is low. Anyone can run.
I have said this on many occasions. The answer would be hell no, because I like my life. I'm living a pretty good life. But I must confess, I wish I could debate some of these guys. I'd love to be on a debate stage going up against these guys with the presidency on the line.
We will arrange that.
I'm half joking, but I kind of mean it. I mean, I have no desire to be a congressional figure or a senator. But if you came to me and you told me I had a legitimate shot to win the presidency of the United States of America, I would definitely consider it. But here's the problem.
So you want to break through the line?
Yeah, that's right. Yes, absolutely. For that, yes, because others have. Okay, including Democrats, by the way. Yeah. I mean, they broke the line. What's wrong with me doing it? But I would be an independent because I don't like either side, and I'm not going to be bought and paid for. I'm going to do what I believe is in the best interest of the American people.
Yeah, okay, you're done. No, seriously. I mean, I get it. You know, if I could be the president, I love these kind of things. This is what I told you about people at ESPN. They get a little popular, and next thing you know, they're Gandhi. No, seriously, it's beautiful. Hey, maybe he could run. He'd get some votes, I'm sure. But could you imagine a debate listening to that bullshit? No, seriously. That pandering, that posturing, the dramatic pauses for effect. Stephen A. Smith does have a really good life going, and Stephen A. Smith should stay in that life. Look, the bar is low. A side piece for Willie Brown, a hanger-on, can run for president. I mean, you can make fun of Donald Trump running for president, but not this time. I mean, the first time, maybe. The first time you could say, well, boy, here is the, ultimate political outsider. I remember back before 2016, it was about 2014-15, I was following Trump on Twitter, and boy, was he smart. I remember saying, hey, yo, I want to be your press secretary. Didn't think he would win, but now he's won twice. And it drives these people nuts. I'm not one of those that watch The View. No. All right, what am I going to do? Listen to 4 or 5, I don't even know how many there are. Morons, make snide little comments. Hell, I can get that here. I can call up my kids and get snide little comments. No. Good for him. Good for Stephen A. Smith. The more the merrier. But I'm digging right now. I'm digging a businessman getting ready to move into the White House. I am. I'm digging that action as opposed to a vegetable or opposed to a side piece. But hey, that's just me. You may disagree. That's America. Speaking of disagreeing and disagreeable, holy hell, woke gasbag David Dennis Jr., apparently son of a civil rights leader, which led to his job at ESPN. We like making fun of David Dennis Jr. We do. We think he's cute. We think he's trying really hard. I don't know what show he's on. I don't even know if that show with Tony Rinaldi or whatever his name is still on. It was supposed to go away. But David Dennis Jr. shows up in our rundown a lot. Why? Because we think he's cute. He's trying. Man, is he trying. Daddy was a civil rights leader. I come off as angry, so that's right. Put me on TV. He is the symbol of everything wrong with ESPN, and we love him for it. We do. He takes himself so seriously. He wants to know where the accountability is for the journalist in the journalist versus Joel Embiid. He wrote a hit piece, this journalist did, on Embiid that mentioned Embiid's dead brother and his son, which resulted in Embiid shoving the reporter and getting hit with a 3-game suspension. I'm always in favor. I'll be very clear about this. I'm always in favor of 1, shoving reporters, 2, suspending Embiid, and 3, blaming the journalist. If they wanted to suspend Embiid, they should make his sorry fat ass play. I mean, that'd be real punishment to Embiid. Wait a second. Embiid famously said, yeah, I'm not playing back-to-backs. Yeah, I'm not in very good shape. Yeah, I'm a fat ass. But hey, Embiid said, I do a lot for the city of Philadelphia, so leave me alone. Yeah, it don't work that way. I actually thought it did, but I learned it doesn't. Who cares what you do for the city of Philadelphia? You're paid to play basketball. You're paid to play your best. You're paid to be in shape. You're paid to be a professional. And you failed at every level. Now, if you want to shove me, that's cool too. Slap you with a lawsuit or maybe a left hook. Not sure. I'm bulking up today. We got hot women on our show. Anyway, here's what Dennis Dennis Jr. of ESPN had to say. He's so cute, this guy.
Two things can be true here. One, the league absolutely has to suspend Embiid. You can't have a precedent of players putting their hands on journalists. The other thing that's true here is I don't know many people, myself included, who wouldn't be compelled to want to put hands on somebody who wrote in a published article something about my child and my deceased sibling. Like, that is just a human interaction there that is hard to say that I'm going to be peaceful in that situation. We've seen what the NBA has done to Embiid. We've seen the punishment. My question then is, what about the journalist? What about the Inquirer? What about the institution of journalism that allowed somebody to write a paragraph that actually is not necessary in the article? You can take that paragraph out and the same point gets across. It was put in there to be incisive and to, draw the ire of Embiid. Who's going to talk to the journalists about this? What happens to the editors, the copywriters? There is a long list of people who approved something as disgusting as that being put on paper, and something needs to be done about that, whether it's, access to the locker room or their own version of apologies, because that is
Do you believe
unacceptable.
that's in the NBA's purview? Because that's what we're talking about. The NBA has suspended Embiid. Do you believe that's in their purview?
No. The NBA does not necessarily have that, have that ability. But somebody within that organization, that journalistic organization,
I understand
has
now.
to
You
take
had said
responsibility for that.
credentials being removed or something like that.
Yeah, I'm mad. I got a mean mug. I'm the son of a civil rights leader. So listen to me. Wait, you're saying the NBA should suspend him? Look, whoever allowed that to happen with Embiid, that's the way the world works. It's simply the way the world works. You put an article out. You want to crush a guy. Editors are like 12 years old making $5 an hour. Then what do they care? Yeah, put it out. Everybody credits the writer for having the stones to go in the locker room after writing a hit piece. Well, if you can't punch them or shove them, is it really stones to go in the locker room? Is it? I mean, if you're going to bitch, whine, and moan and suspend guys for defending themselves, what's the stones? It's like that little kid that Jason Kelce smashed the phone. What's going to happen to him? I don't know. Look, the journalist, like most journalists, is a punk. He is. He's just a punk. There is no need. Doyle did it to me, put my kid in so Doyle could sound like he's a happy-go-lucky, two-sided guy. It's all crap. The reporter deserved to get shoved. Actually, the reporter deserved to get it knocked the hell out. See, I Stephen A. Smith it. He deserved to get knocked the hell out and probably suspended, but it ain't going to happen. Look, editors, really? What do? I'm a newspaper editor. Really? Who reads that? Well, really? Well, online. Oh, okay. Well, good for you. David Dennis Jr. All right. Dennis David Jr. I don't know. Get a mean mug, and my daddy was a Civil War or civil rights activist. Yay! David Dennis Jr. He's cute. He is. He's a little cutie. Charlie Baker's the head of the NCAA. Charlie Baker's a flaming liberal. Charlie Baker thinks so much of the job with the NCAA that he is not totally moving to Indianapolis, where the NCAA is located, but staying in Massachusetts. Apparently, that's how good a candidate this guy was for the presidency of the NCAA. He got to call his own shot. He got to say, I'm staying here. I'll be there sometime. Good for Charlie Baker. You know what? When you got leverage, you use it, because you don't get leverage all of the time. Anyway, Charlie Baker pushing for March Madness to be expanded. Now, my guys say, don't mess with the greatest postseason tournament in all of sports, you moron. No, I would argue the greatest postseason tournament in all of sports is not March Madness. I would argue it's the NFL playoffs. I would argue, and they are the playoffs. It's a tournament. I would also argue the greatest postseason tournament is getting ready to come up. The 12-team college football playoff. Look, I'm all in on March Madness being great. I am. Love turning on my TV at noon on that Thursday, and here we go. I do. Love it. Don't like it. Love it. Sad when it's over, and then we morph into the NBA playoffs where a bunch of dudes dressed like girls throw up threes. I understand. But I'll tell you this. I will tell you, I ain't mad at expanding it. No. People can get mad at expanding it. I am not mad at expanding it. Look, they expanded it from 48 to 64, and it was great. Has it been hurt? Used to be 32. Used to be 16. No. I am all for expanding. I want more teams in. But here's the thing, if you really think about it. Every league except the Ivy League has a conference tournament, which means every team is in the NCAA tournament to start with. Think about it before you say it's not. Think about it. If you win your games, you keep moving forward. I'm going to say it again. So you play the first round of the MAC tournament, you don't lose. You're in the NCAA tournament. So basically right now, but it's not under the umbrella of the NCAA tournament. I understand that. It's not Selection Sunday, and there's Bowling Green, and it drives me nuts. I couldn't get him in the tournament in 10 years. 1968's the last time BG went to the NCAA tournament under the great Bill Fitch. But anyway, long story short, here's Bowling Green. Yeah, no, we are in the NCAA tournament by definition of what a tournament is, but not included. I am all for expanding the NCAA tournament. I am. I'm all for coaches that can say, hey, look, I took Bowling Green to the NCAA tournament. I am. On here, I'm not supposed to be. People get mad when I say that, but I say to you, it's always been expanded. There's more players now than there has ever been. There's more money now put into the mid-major / low-major teams than there has ever been. Free agency dictates there's probably going to be a talent that's spread out more than it's ever been. So why not extend the NCAA tournament? What I've always said is this. Boy, we love it when Mercer beats Duke. But in the second round, we sure would rather watch Duke play Michigan State than Mercer play Michigan State. That's just the way it is. I get it. But I'm all for expanding it. In fact, when I told the Flying Knicks yesterday when they called me for our afternoon chat, I said, what are you talking about? I'm for it. I can tell this is their private protest. Don't mess with the greatest postseason tournament in all of sports, you morons. And it's in capital letters. How about them apples? Yeah, bite me. Bite me, I say. Here's Charlie Baker talking about it.
NCAA tournament expansion. Would you like to see it happen? And do you think it's going to happen in the near term?
I think there's a real opportunity there to do something modest. I mean, the calendar, remember the calendar is really defined, right? We have to finish before the Masters, and we can't start until after the tournaments, the conference tournaments are over. So, there's not a lot of extra days in there. And I think for both the men's and the women's tournament, whatever we do here would have to be done within the frame that's already available. And do I think it's possible to come up with something where we could make this work? I think it certainly is possible. We're working on it. We're working with the committees on it. We're working with the conferences on it. We're working with our partners, our media partners on it. And I think it's probably going to take a lot of effort on the part of everybody to come up with something that would expand the tournament. But I don't think you're going to see dramatic expansion. I certainly think you see enough expansion so that a whole new set of folks will end up being on the bubble, right?
Yeah, there you go. So basically what he's telling you is, yeah, they're going to expand it. That's interesting to me, though, because it is a window. You can't go past the Masters because the Masters is set when it is by CBS and by Augusta National and the membership, and it's going to be that first weekend in April. Not the first weekend, not like April 1st or whatever. It's going to be the first in-season, in April weekend. So TV dictates it to a large degree. Now, if they want to take a week off and continue the tournament, that doesn't seem like a bad idea. I want more sports that I like. I want more football going to June. I want more college basketball going to July if it has to. I don't give a rat's ass whether it interferes with the WNBA. I want more sports. Nick, you're a young guy. You don't want the tournament expanded, huh? You guys don't want it expanded.
I have no say in this fight. That slug was all Nick F right there. I actually kind of agree with you. If it means watching more sports, then I'm all for it. Let the expansion happen.
More sports. Nick combed his beard. He's got his good hat on today. I hope you wear the cowboy hat when the young lady comes on because I would like to get her opinion. But, everybody here is all hepped up because one of the hottest Instagram models in the world is joining our show. And
That's right.
I shaved twice today. No, I didn't. Jason and Travis Kelce they've addressed, this is interesting, the Penn State phone issue. They did. It occurred last weekend at Penn State. Very nasty, my opinion. Gay slur was said about Travis Kelce to Jason Kelce. If you don't know, Jason Kelce turned around, grabbed the phone, smashed the phone. Next thing you know, kept on trucking. People are all upset. Oh, my God, Jason Kelce so mean. He's a bully. Shut up. Take the high road. Why has everybody got to take the high road when nobody actually takes the high road? Dakich, what are you talking about? Well, famously, Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high. Well, I don't know if you paid attention to the election. It's certainly Big Mike, a.k.a. Michelle Obama's speech, but she didn't take the high road of anything. So that whole high road's a myth. That whole high road is nonsense. It's verbiage. It's discussion. There's nothing about it that's interesting. So Jason Kelce should not take the high road because, frankly, there is no high road. Anyway, folks are being able to hear Travis's perspective, and that's a good thing because Travis, well, he dates the number one pop star in the world. And if you date the number one pop star in the world and you are Jason Kelce's brother and you're on a two-time national champion, you know stuff by proxy. So Jason Kelce on the New Heights talked about brothers sticking together. The bros also discussed Saquon's absurd backward hurdle. That was unbelievable. That was unbelievable. And they advised kids, don't try this at home. Here they are.
Yeah, no, I'm just going to address it because I feel like it needs one more time. And then hopefully we can stop talking about this really stupid situation that occurred.
Silly. I'm with you, man.
I'm not happy about the situation. Me reacting gave him the time of day, and it also gave this situation notoriety. That's what I regret, all right? It didn't deserve attention. It's really stupid. And if I just keep walking, it's a nothing burger. Nobody sees it. Now it's out there, and it just perpetuates more hate. The thing that I regret the most is saying that word, to be honest with you. And the word he used is just ridiculous, and it takes it to another level. It's just off the wall and over the line, and it's dehumanizing and got under my skin, and it elicited a reaction. And like in the heat of the moment, I thought in my head, hey, what can I say back to him? I'm going to throw that right back in his face because him. I know now that I shouldn't have done that because now there's a video out there with me saying that word, him saying that word, and it's not good for anybody. I think what I do regret is that now there's a video that is very hateful that is now online that has been seen by millions of people. And I share fault in perpetuating it and having that out there.
I know it's weighing on you, brother. That shit sucks. You shouldn't feel this much. Obviously, the scrutiny and the media like view on it, and everybody passing around the videos that are being out there. I mean, that's going to make it a bigger situation than I think what it really is. But the real situation is you had some fucking clown come up to you and talk about your family, and you reacted in a way that was defending your family, and you might have used some words that you regret using. And that's a situation that you just got to kind of learn from and own. And I think you owning it and you speaking about it shows how sincere you are to a lot of people in this world, and shows that, especially what you said on Monday night, that you choose not to fucking you don't choose hate. That's just not who you are. Yeah. I love you, brother.
Love you too.
I think you said that perfectly.
Yeah, it's all good. I mean, I don't really care. I mean, some clown comes up to you, they're doing that. You got a decision to make. Do you smash his phone or don't you? You smash his phone, life will move on. Seriously. Yeah. Be all right. I wonder what happens to the clown kid, though. I mean, does that guy lose his job? Does he get kicked out of school? Nobody's identified him. Why? Why are you allowed to just do what that jackass did without repercussion? I think what Kelce did was fine. I don't like necessarily him giving the word back to the guy, but I understand it. Got bigger problems, and sticks and stones, people. Sticks and stones. All right, here's the Kelce brothers on Saquon Barkley's ridiculous backwards hop over a defender.
It's not maybe the best hurdle I've ever seen.
Dude.
Like, where do you even do this from?
That spin was insane.
The guy was standing.
If the play would have ended after the spin, we would still be sitting here like, bro, that was a crazy
That was sick.
And then he did even more of the unthinkable and just said, it, I'm going to do some like ballet and just whoop.
The Saquon plie.
The Saquon plie. Nice. Very nice.
I mean, that's up there with play of the year. There were some really good plays from this past week, but I don't know that I'm giving anything more than this.
2,
this is insane.
3. I mean, 3. You make 3 guys miss on one play. It's electric.
The backwards hurdle, yeah. We also got an awesome clip of the bench reaction to the hurdle. It's always fun when your teammates are genuinely shocked at how good you are.
Everybody's like, oh, bro, what the f-?
Look at my man Reed Blankenship's like Home Alone face.
He went Macaulay Culkin on him. That's
Dude.
good.
That's so good.
Kids do not do that.
Please do not try and hurdle people backwards. Don't do it.
Football is not meant to be played in the air. I promise you that. Unless you're an incredible athlete. If your athleticism is far more superior than everybody else's on the field, do whatever the you want. But outside of that, do not. That is a safety hazard.
Boy, he's right. That is a hazard. I mean, you do what Barkley did. If you haven't seen it, go Google it or whatever. But, man, that was unbelievable. Hey, speaking of Google me, Kurt Signetti and the beloved Indiana Hoosiers are rocking and rolling. Big one, 14.5-point favorite against Michigan. I say it again, 14.5-point favorite over Michigan. Indiana, wow. Anyway, Joe Klatt, Fox Sports, basically the Kirk Herbstreit of Fox Sports, thinks the committee, the college football committee, is screwing my Hoosiers. What? They're ranking them 8th. He's arguing, and I'm with him, there is clear brand bias. That's right. Clear brand bias, meaning Indiana is not Penn State, is not Michigan, is not Notre Dame, is not Ohio State. Were they? They would be ranked higher. I've said this all week. 4 one-loss teams are ahead of the Hoosiers. They're more traditional powers. Clear brand bias of the CFP committee is striking. If you want to rank off the eye test, that is fine, but have a set and watch Indiana football without bias. If you want to rank off resume, then have a set and rank BYU higher than those that don't touch their ranked teams. Now, here's the problem we have at Indiana. The problem we have at Indiana is we haven't played anybody. Now, you can only play who's on the schedule, but you do get to set up the non-conference schedule. And Western Illinois was coming off like 50 straight losses, so I think it's good scheduling. You got to get to 6. At least that's what we looked at prior to the season. Well, now you're in a position where the schedule is such that you're trying to win a championship. Any blue blood with Indiana football's resume would be at worst 4th. That's what I said. The disrespect to the Hoosiers is real. That's right. It is. And we ain't mad about it. You know, people have said, here's where it's a problem. People have said, well, just go win all your games. Well, very few teams win all their games. You still got to go to Ohio State, Michigan this weekend. Well, here's the deal. Sure, if you win all your games, you're golden. But what happens if it continues down the path that it has continued since basically 1987? Indiana loses at Ohio State. You have Ohio State, Indiana. You got Penn State, one-loss teams. You got a bunch of one-loss teams in there. We'll see what happens. I don't have the schedule in front of me, but there is a possibility of 4 one-loss teams in the Big Ten. That's where this 8th place ranking comes in. I don't like it. I don't like it a bit. Hey, speaking of I don't like it, Ellie Samarco, what are you doing? She's a Democratic strategist. She sent an appalling tweet. What is wrong with people in reaction to Donald Trump winning the election? Totally normal behavior and nothing, well, certainly not unhinged here. White men without college degrees are going to ruin this country. Really? All right. I think the policies of liberals were on the path, with degrees, without degrees, men or women, were on the path to ruin this country. Because liberals go unchecked. They simply go unchecked. Say what you want, unchecked. Do what Steve Kerr did, make fun of immigrants murdering, raping, robbing? Unchecked. Anybody see anything, anytime, anywhere from any national news organization criticizing Steve Kerr? Of course not. Why? Unchecked. When you go unchecked, you feel a liberty to say whatever you want, even if it is over the top, obnoxious, hate-filled, like what was Steve Kerr's reaction to the Trump victory. It goes unchecked. That ain't good.